What's up, everybody? Today's a special video. As you can see, some of you guys haven't seen this yet. This is my brother's turtle lair. Yes. He's a humongous Ninja Turtle fan. There's a lot of expensive stuff in here. But this is our turtle lair. He's been putting it together for a while. Yes, those are turtle heads. Custom paintings. Yes, turtles in time. Yes, the arcade machine right there, etc. Don't want to step on that. They get us a look down. But he's not here. He's actually, gotta get the dioramas. These things are awesome. He took time to, look at this. The poses. This is awesome. And of course, we got the McFarlane Spawn toys. Again, I'm going to go ahead and move these over because I do not want to step on any of these rare toys. Never had to. Because I do not want to damage this stuff because it's our memorabilia. Okay, so a lot of you guys have, some of you guys have seen this on the channel, but not really. Haven't really showed it too much. Yes, look at that. It's freaking awesome, yes. So what are we doing here today, you're going to say? My brother's birthday is coming up. I love my brother. So what we're going to do, he doesn't know this yet. We're going to, everything in this room is Ninja Turtles, as you can see, but there's one thing that doesn't match. Yes, that ps5. That I did get for my brother last year. We did get the blue plates, as you guys know I have the red plates. But what we're going to do for my brother is I'm going to make him a custom one-off Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ps5. He doesn't know it yet. Again, I'm filming this video. He's out of town. I ordered all the parts to rebuild everything from the shell to even the controller. So I talked about a couple of videos ago. We're going to do it for him. And he's probably going to be surprised because it'll finally blend in with the rest of the room, the turtle lair. Okay, so he's not here. So what I'm going to do, because he probably won't notice this, my brother because he doesn't pay attention, I'm going to coyly take the controller. Got to rebuild this controller, okay? Also, like I said, the plates. Can't really take the plates. I was kind of in a hurry, so I didn't get the new custom plates, but we're probably going to come back tomorrow and we'll install the special thing that's going on in here. I'm still waiting on the turtle plates to come in. As soon as those come in, we'll try to get it all together, but we'll at least get the controller rebuilt, etc. Everything that we need to do to get this going. And probably place it back in here. Knowing him, he won't even notice it yet because he hasn't really played anything on PS5. But, like I said, I'll have everything done except for the plates. I'm still waiting on the plates. Hopefully they come in. I'm hoping they'll come in this week. If not, it won't be till next week or the week after. Then I'll show it all to him. Again, you guys will be along part of the process. I'm not going to post these videos until he sees it, obviously. To get his reaction to add it to the video. Because if I post it and he watches it, he's going to know what's up. So we're going to take this controller. Knowing him, he's not going to notice it's gone. I want to take the plates. I don't know if you'll notice that it's white again, but I have no clue. This is his spare turtle bin and stuff that we had to set up. I have no clue where he put it. But his original plates, I'm going to guess. I'm going to put this down right here. I'm going to guess this might be it right here. I'm going to take one shot. If this isn't it, forget it. And this looks like a laptop. I'm going to say no. Okay. So we're going to do the controller probably this weekend. Get that all said and done. Get that placed back in here behind that controller. And as soon as I get the custom turtle skin, we're going to put that on. It's just going to blend right in. And you're going to see all the awesome effects. You guys will be along for the ride. But again, I want to film this while he is gone. That's so awesome. Look at that. That's so awesome, man. The diorama. But it took time. And the cool part is if you look at this diorama, if you look through there, yeah. It's like a whole scene going on. But anywho, so we're going to rebuild this controller, and we'll work on it as we go. Probably going to come back tomorrow, install one of the parts inside that, and then, like I said, once we get the other shell, the custom turtle shell, we'll throw that on, and I'll show you guys the reaction. But again, you guys will see me rebuild all this stuff for the video, and again, he'll probably watch this after I show it to him and have his reaction to it, whatnot. So, okay, next clip you guys are going to see is probably going to be me taking this thing completely apart, rebuilding it from scratch, so we can make this into a custom Ninja Turtle controller. Guys, and we're back at the house. So what we have right here is going to go through it quickly. We have the brand new LEDs. Obviously, I'm going to test these on my PS5. We have a brand new controller skin that we're going to wrap this in the controller. And then we have right here another brand new complete controller skin, along with a LED board for both of these. I do have 2 LED boards, but this one I'm going to completely customize as well as this one. We're doing both at the same time. We'll save this for last because doing LEDs in the console appears to be the easy part. So again, it's not going to be like a perfect like step-by-step while I'm playing the Halo Halo beta, by the way, anywho. So we're just going to start opening them both up and then getting going. So let me go ahead and unpackage everything and have everything laying out. And like I said, we'll take both of these apart, rebuild both of these, and we're going to start on, obviously, like I said, this is the custom Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle controller, along with the console. But like I said, I'm going to test the LEDs on the console, my console, again, while on the Halo beta here. So let's get everything out the box so you guys can see everything lined up. Everything laid out. Got the all black controller skin. Only thing I don't like about it is there's no texture. See if I can focus it right there. There's no texture right there, like on the originals. Okay, this one has a little bit of texture for grip. Here's the board. Here's all the replacement buttons with the tools to use it. And here's what we're gonna make the custom Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skin. All green, as you can see. I'm gonna replace them with obviously light buttons and whatnot. Match is about to begin in Halo, so you can see. I'm playing the Halo beta, so let me get through that, and then we're gonna open this up and start with one controller. Here we start disassembly. Again, I'm gonna point on this controller. I'm taking this one apart right here. So basically, you're gonna take out this black face plate. You can go from the corners right here. You can use the included tool, or you can use your fingernails if you have long enough fingernails, or whatever, to pry underneath the corners to pry this portion out. Now, right here at the top, you need to get this top button off. Basically, all you have to do, take your a pry tool, and you're gonna put the pry tool, again, trying to do this with one hand. You put the pry tool underneath the button and just pop it out. The button will pop up. And there's actually a screw in the top of it. You can see it right there. There's a screw. I accidentally turned on the ps5. So you're gonna do that both sides, 2 screws on each side. Now that you have this this plate off, this is actually a screw right there. You can see them. Take those 2 screws out. So start with that. Get those 4 screws out, and then we're gonna continue on. All right. So after you got that taken apart, the screws out, the next thing is you can see right here on my hand is these 2 tabs right here. Use your little pry tool, or the pry tool you're using, pry those down, and that's gonna take out this entire bottom shell. Now you may have to pry along the lines right here, obviously, to help pry it out, but when you do that, that's gonna take out the entire bottom half of this, and then we're gonna be able to see the flex battery. So let me go ahead and pry this off, and we'll get to the battery that's sitting right here. So now you see that we got the bottom shell off. Now, right here, see my fingers, that you're gonna unplug this. This is a ribbon cable. That's part of the battery. There we go, better focus. You're gonna unplug this. You're gonna unplug this. You can kind of see it better. You see the plugs. Unplug these 2. And then there's also a plug right here. I'm gonna unplug this one. But by this point, you can pull this battery out. See how this is coming out? And you can unplug that one easy. So unplug these 3 plugs, and then we'll get the battery out. Again, 1, 2, right there. And something to note so you don't make a mistake, like I almost did. These are ribbon cables. See how this, I pulled it out? See, it's right here. Let me focus on it. If I can focus on it, it's kind of small. But yeah, this is a ribbon cable. See, this is a ribbon. Leave the white part in the board. So you're just gonna pull the ribbon out on both sides. You're just gonna pull the ribbon out, if that makes sense. You're not gonna, there you go, kind of focusing. You see it's kind of ribbon. It just slides right in there. Don't pull the whole white thing off. Then right there, you can see my finger is right there. You're gonna take that screw out, which will take off this tray. That's the next. All right, so once you get that screw out, like I said, you see there's the whole board. We'll put that to the side. Now, you can see the ribbon cable right there. The ribbon cable right here. Pull these 2 ribbon cables out, as well as right here, this blue thing. That's a ribbon cable as well. Pull that out by the tab, pull that out, pull that out. Once you get those 3 out, right here by the, I guess you say the rumble feature, the motors, you see a screw right there. Take that screw out on each side. Go ahead and remove those. Now, once you get those screws out, kind of halfway push it up. Use the, see the analog buttons to push up on this. That way, you can get this board out. Again, it's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but basically, yeah, I get this board up right here, and behind this board is right here is a little small. I don't know what it is, but that might fall out. Just make sure that you put that piece back in. So let me go ahead and get this board out and out the way. Now, for some of you guys who might have trouble on this ribbon cable right here. Right here, there you go. Better focus. This ribbon cable. Might have to use some tweezers or something like I used. Just grab it. Again, be careful with this stuff. Grab it a little bit just to yank it out, because I mean the tab to pull it right there is not that large. So let me get this board out the way, and then behind this board, basically you can kind of see it right there. Screws. You're gonna take out those two screws. There's one on each side right here. So get this board out the way. Take those two screws out. You can kind of see I pushed that though. That's a little piece in the middle I was talking about. If that falls out, just put that back in. But right there, see that silver screw on each side? Take those two screws out next. And again, this board's connected to the rumble pack right here, the motors. So the board's not, actually gonna come out, you know what I'm saying, because it's still attached. So don't rip the board out, just push it up so you can get to these two screws. All right, so now that you got the screws out, that's the way, you got the screws out, this whole board, this black piece, basically the front shell comes off. So essentially, it's gonna lift up right here. You can kind of see right there, it's loose. Lift up like that on each side. Again, try to do it with one hand. You can lift up on each side, and you can kind of see it right here. I can show it. You see it's already loose coming up. There you go. The whole piece, bam, comes out, and there you go. You left with the base bottom piece, which will be where all your buttons are. So we're gonna replace the buttons. See on the back side. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to edit it. But that's how you're gonna replace all the buttons. Right here, analog, all that stuff. You see, now we got two separate pieces right there. Also, the thing I forgot to show you is that I'm obviously going to replace the center thumb pad button with this clear one right here. I ordered a new clear one too. So we're going to go a step farther and get the center pad right here out and replace it with the clear one, which I go into. You have to basically take this piece off, heat it, take the board that's off of this, and put it on the back of that. But let's go ahead and replace the buttons first. We'll go from there. So basically, you see it, this lifts up right here. Kind of see it lifted up right there. Lifts up, bam, there's your buttons. And make sure you put your buttons back in the proper order. If you look, you got your triangle, square, yada, yada. So I got replacing buttons, everything right here. Obviously, we're going for a completely LED controller. So I'm gonna replace those buttons. Same thing with the D-pad. Take this portion off, as you can see me do it right here. Bam, like so. Pull that out. Replace it with these screws out the way. These are extra screws, by the way. Clear LED pad. So basically, I'm gonna replace all that stuff right here. Then we're gonna go a step farther, and like I said, replace that. But I just showed you how to do this portion. I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out. Then we'll get to this. Now, I think I talk about this. When you put these buttons in, you see how there's notches right there? There's notches right there in these buttons, these new buttons. Replace the buttons. Probably left time. You see the notches right there? Those notches have to line up. Now, obviously, since it's going to be LED, it's going to glow. There's no triangle X or whatever. So these buttons aren't labeled. But you see the slots. It has to go all the way down so it's flush, if that makes sense. If it's not flush, if you look on the bottom, you see how the button sticking out? If it's not flush, it's gonna be just like that bottom hole. You won't even see the button. That's how you know you got it in there wrong, okay? So these notches go to a specific hole. It's not in any order or whatnot. So you just gotta figure out which one fits where so that you get the button sticking all the way through. Again, if the button's not sticking through at the bottom, you have this in the wrong spot. Just want to point that out. And then once you get that, you'll put the rubber piece back on. Then we're going to work on the new thumb pad. Again, if you didn't get a new thumb pad, then it doesn't matter. Now that I'm thinking about it, in my case, I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of messing up. Because I'm actually about to transfer all of this over to the new, I forgot all about that. supposed to be transferring all this over to the new black control skin anyways. So the process on this assembly is still the same. It's just if you're gonna do a new shell, you're gonna transfer everything to this new shell instead of the old shell like I was just doing at the start. But I'm gonna thought about that now before I put it all together. So yeah, I'm gonna transfer all this over to the top portion of this shell. And you see how we already got that portion on? And we're just gonna put that portion back into this black shell. So let me go ahead and separate this black shell right quick and swap all this stuff over, which is just the D-pad stuff, the thumb pad, etc., over to this new shell. Process is still the same though. Again, it's showing you guys. See, I transfer everything over, including the rubber piece that was right here. That's all I'm doing is moving everything over. All this, I'm gonna move all this over. This black piece is rubber piece. This little ribbon cable. Same thing with that. And this will be identical. This is a black shell. So if you would change the shell like we're going to do this green one, don't forget to transfer all the rubber pieces over to your new shell. Because I forgot we're doing a new shell. That's all I'm doing. And this ribbon cable and that ribbon spot. So just showing you guys what's going on. We have to take this centerpiece off anyways because we got the new PlayStation logo right there as well. So again, that just pries off like that. Again, we're going to transfer that over to our new shell. That button pops off, and we'll just replace it in that little spot right there with that behind it. And again, the other thing we'll have to do is we'll have to take this little piece off right here, put that piece at the bottom right there, and then the ribbon cable, just feed the ribbon cable back through the bottom. Sorry about that video. Feed the ribbon cable back through on the bottom. Okay, as you can see, I transferred everything over except for the center pad. You see it? It's an empty controller. Except for the center pad. And then, of course, the places and button that just fell out, but we don't care about that. Right there. All your buttons and all that. But there you go. That's how the shell was. See, it's all in the new shell. Everything's in the shell. I know you're going to ask, well, how did you get the ribbon cable out? Actually, you have to push it through the bottom. Be careful with it. Snake it through the bottom. And then go through the bottom here, back up to the top. Remember that the bottom of the ribbon cable is an LED. The LED for this spot right here. So the bottom has to line up with this spot. And the top, as you know, is going to plug back into that board, the main board right here. Once we get there. Okay, so now we got everything transferred over except for this centerpiece right here. So we're going to go ahead and take these two screws out. So we can, excuse me, I'm not even looking at it. We're going to go ahead and take these two screws out right here. Bam, bam. And that way we can get this button out. And remember, we're going to heat this button up so we can separate this black piece from this portion. So we can put it on the clear one to match all the clear buttons. If you did everything correctly, you should have nothing left but the two analog buttons. That's it left. So I'm going to go ahead and take those two screws out to get that centerpiece off. Okay, a couple of steps in. Now, when you take those two screws out, you see I left one screw in right there. That's the board I'm talking about right there. This thumb pad is actually attached to this one with the screws. You're going to use a heat gun so you can heat this board up right here. There you go, perfect. You can heat this board up, pry it up a little bit. It should come right off. Using that same glue, you're going to apply it to the back of your new center thumb pad. Again, if you didn't get a new center thumb pad, you're just going to reuse the same one. And you didn't get a new shell, then, you know, obviously omit all this stuff. But if you're doing a complete controller disassembly and rebuild like I'm doing for two controllers, one to make the turtle controller and two to make me a black controller, there you go. So again, we'll heat this up and then we'll transfer this to the back of that and then put this back together with the screws. Now, you're going to see right here, this controller is an empty vessel, but we still have the LED light bar right here, which we need to transfer the LED light bar to this empty vessel right here. So it took me a second to figure it out, but if you look right here, this LED light bar is right here. It's pried into this. So you're basically going to pry this up, kind of like that. Sorry about that. Video, kind of getting close to the video. We can kind of see how I did it with my finger there right there. You're going to pry this up, kind of like that. There you go. And then if you look at the back of it, right there, where my thumb is right here, it's just going to pull up. So you're just going to lift this up enough so you can slide this LED light board out, transfer it to the new spot in here, and then, like I said, heat this up so you can pry this off, put it on the new thumb pad, put this back together, put the screws back together, and voila, you'll be back to a solid controller on this side. So again, I'm going to go ahead and do that right quick, get this all back together, and then there'll be nothing left but a shell. 2 shells. All right. As you can see, again, do not attempt to do this thumb pad if you don't have a hair dryer or a heat gun. The only thing I don't like is you have to have the glue, obviously, to stick it back on. On the clear pad, you can kind of see the glue. Now, obviously, if you get a thumb pad that's colored or different color or whatever, you won't see this, but I got clear because I thought clear would look good. But it is what it is. Again, you need this sticky stuff in order to stick it back on. I don't think you really saw that, but it is what it is. So you see that this thumb pad now is on its own. It's another piece right there. Now we're going to go ahead and put this all back together and then put this back inside here. And then we're going to work on, that was just to do the buttons and the thumb pad. Now again, if all you're doing is changing our buttons, without doing LED or different color buttons, whatever, you pretty much know how to do it now. Now again, we're going to put this back together so this is one solid piece. You see now this is a shell, got everything out of it. There you go. So we got a whole entire shell right there with all the buttons, all that stuff. Like I said, put that back together. Then we're going to work on, finally, move this black piece up here, putting the LED board onto that. So let's put this back together right quick. Okay, now that we got the all back together, you see it's all back together, ready to go. We're doing this piece. Pull out your new LED light board right here. That's going to power everything. Flip the controller upside down. Take off the thumb pad. It just pops in there. You can see it's just a stick. There's a hole right there. You just pull it out. Pretty much. There you go. Do the same thing on that side. Pull this out. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this board. If you look at the back of this board, you only have sticky stuff right there, right there. That's obviously going to go over the two analog holes right here, right? And this is what's going to help it attach to there. So you want to line this up. Now, give me a second to figure this out. In the corners, you see right there, the hole right there, and then right there. If you look at the board, there's notches right here. There's a notch right there, notch right there, obviously the holes. You're simply going to line that up. So go ahead and take these two out, line the board up so the board should be flush on here. So you got the holes right there, correspond with the holes right there, notch right there, notch right there. So line it up so it's nice and flat and firm. Now, bear in mind, these holes are obviously, these two right here are going to be off because you're going to end up bending that up to go around here, if that makes sense. You simply want to get this portion right here, to go around right here. That'll be your buttons. I guess you see your start and select button. I don't know how you want to say it. And you're going to use the tape to tape it right there on each side. That's what's going to hold it in place right there. And then, like I said, we use the tape that's behind here to go in a circle around each one of these. Now again, it's going to extend over if you look at it. Let's just throw it on there. Again, I'm not going to do this with one hand, but if you just throw it on there, you see it's going to extend past it, but you're going to end up bending it up a little bit to go around the holes right here. That makes sense. You see that's kind of lined up. I did with one hand, but you don't line it up like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so I can stick this two on the top first, and then get this one stuck right here, I'll go from there. Food for thought to make your life easier. You can go and stick it through the little tab right there. You see I stuck it through each tab on the side. You see it kind of help center it. There you go. See how it's centered? There you go. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull these two. That makes it easier. That way I can stick these two, if that makes sense. It's being held on by these two tabs right here. You can see that's on that tab, and it's on that tab right there. But it's still kind of loose, obviously, because I don't have any of the tape peeled yet. So I'm going to peel the tape on the top two and stick it to the top two. That's how it's going to look. Right? Zoom out. Once you get taped up. Again, like I said, these holes are going to stand over because you're going to end up putting them on these. Bend it up a little bit to put on that, but we'll do that later. I actually made a mistake right quick that I caught because I couldn't figure out how to stretch the circuit cable right here. Has to plug into the circuit cable on the bottom of the controller right there. See this tab right here? Has to plug into that. It's not long enough. If you look right here, see the slit? You have to actually feed this portion, through the slit right here, and then hook it. That will help hold it into place better. Then you hook the sides, then you do the tape. That made sense because I was like, there's no way that this is long enough to stretch underneath the controller. It's a slit. You can see my nail inside there. Put it through that hole. Then use these two holes to hold it in place. Put it underneath. Again, on the bottom of that slit, it's just right here. You see this right there. Got the two tabs right there. Put on the two tabs. Now the board's stuck to this. Use the tabs like I told you. Use the tape. Voila, there we go. Yeah, so don't forget that step. If you're wondering, hey, there's no way this is long enough to go underneath the controller. That's why it's a slit right there. So let me, again, that's why you always test fit before you do the tape and all that. So let me go ahead and feed it through and do it the proper way. Oh, there it is on the proper way. Again, I didn't tape anything down yet to show you guys. See on the bottom? There it is. Right through that slit hole, and then I'll go ahead and join it with those two tabs right there. See that? Right through that hole, and then everything focus, everything will just kind of line up. Then we'll just kind of line everything up, and then we'll tape the two tabs right there, and use the corners to help hold it down. So again, if you're wondering how the heck you get to that power grid right there, that's how you do it. Makes more sense now that I'm actually got the controller part. That done, I went ahead and already put the tape off of those. You see everything lines up perfectly. There you guys go. Like so. And I got that. I guess I got the tape out those two. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the tape out those two, put them on these two nodules right there. And then we'll work on the actual power supply to power this board next. Alright, so once you got all that stuff stuck on, you see now the tabs, you know, because it was long, you push them down, you see them right there, you see it push them down. So like gonna be sitting right here in this little gap right here. Now you look at the side right here. Look at the side here, you got tape on the back of this portion. Pick this board up, and you look, there's a little square. Kind of hard to do it with one hand. I think I could do it like that. Just like that. It's a little square right there. You see that little black piece, little square right there where the thumb is. You're gonna tape that to that, right there. And then we're gonna proceed to start putting this all back together. Put the thumbsticks, your new thumbsticks, whatever color you got. Put your new thumbsticks back on. And then we're gonna proceed to start putting this all back together. Okay, so set it back in that shell right there. Get it out the way. Make sure you pull the focus. Make sure you pull the motherboard up. And you're gonna put these. Remember from earlier, you're gonna put these two screws right here back in. These two metal screws right there. Put the screws back in. Now again, if you bought the axle transfer kit, it comes with extra screws just in case you lose a screw or whatever like that. But yeah, when you're putting it back in, sometimes this piece will get stuck to the bottom piece. So just pull it back out, pull the board off, put the two screws back in. Because remember, you gotta be careful because you got the analog underneath here, right here. So get those two screws back in, then push it back together. That will hold the top part of the shell to the motherboard and everything else. And then we'll worry about the ribbon cable right here next. To go through the hole, to go through all that stuff. Now before you make a mistake, make sure you feed the ribbon cable through the hole that's right here. Don't go through the top. It should not be going through the top because remember, we won't be able to plug into this board. So feed it through the hole before you tighten these screws down. Because I had tightened them, I was like, well, there's no way it's supposed to go over the top. So you want to go through the slit first, then tighten those screws down. Okay, so now we're going to push the board down, make sure everything is tight and secure. Now, again, it's going to be like a baby soft pop. It's not going to like lock into place, obviously, because you know, it's held by screws. Make sure, the biggest thing is, took me a second, you want to make sure all your ribbon cables, all your ribbon cables are shown. So continue to lift this board until you get your ribbon cables through. Make sure you lift those up, get that one through the hole, like I said. Now you're going to plug in all your ribbon cables. Don't plug in this one just yet. Plug in these three. And then we're going to take, remember this board that we took off right here to hold the battery. Then we're going to put this back on top so we can cover this hole right here. And then we'll plug the ribbon cable into that slot and plug this ribbon cable into that slot. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now once you get all these annoying ribbon cables put back in, all put back in as you can see, and you put the screw back in to hold this board on, that's why I'm able to obviously do that. Make sure you push everything down. That's going to hold right there. See, everything's together now, as you can kind of see. Now, this is the fun part. You take the bottom wire right here, connect this bottom wire into the power grid that's right there, right? And remember our battery that we took out, you're going to take the top of the battery and connect it to the top of the power grid. If everything is correct and you wired everything correctly, everything's good, this thing should turn on and light on. Meaning that the LED should turn on. So I'm going to go ahead and plug everything up and let's see if we got everything done correctly. And voila. Like I said, if everything is done correctly, again, everything's loose. bam, we have LED lights on the controller, on the black shell. So alright, so now obviously you don't want these wires pinched or whatever. So you see I ran the top wire underneath the bottom wire. I'm just gonna push that one down the side here, down the side of the little groove right here where the rumble battery is, to try to keep the wires from getting pinched. And then we're gonna go ahead and finish up this this project. We only got 2, 4, 6 more screws left. And remember, you got the 2 screws there, then you got the 2 screws up there, etc. But yeah, the biggest thing is the LED board lights up. So yeah, I got everything wired correctly. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck everything like right here, because you don't want the wires to get pinched when you close the controller at all. Yes, hell yeah. That's how I'm going to mount it. So again, it's hard to see because now I got the black shell. You got the 2 screws right there. Put the screw back in there. Put the screw back in there. That's going to hold this all together. Then we'll take the bottom part of the shell. We're going to obviously pop the bottom part of the shell back on. Put the 2 screws in back up top. Put the buttons, 2 black buttons right here. 2 black buttons back on top. Finish off the last 2 screws and then put the last 2 screws in at the bottom. Let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Now, the biggest thing you want to do before you put the final 2 screws back in is you got to make sure that everything can move. Like, you can feel everything. Analogs click. Now, put it back together the first time, this analog wasn't clicking because it was stuck under something. Other buttons. Now, the only issue I have is these buttons right here aren't sticking through other ways, so I have to really push down to get to them, right? So I'm going to go back, open it back up a little bit, make sure that these are sitting flush so that they're sticking out. Everything else is good so far. So again, before you put it back together, make sure that everything's clicking. Yeah, there we go. So everything is good. See, thumbs go up, it clicks, you can hear it click. Make sure it clicks, up, down, that works. You push all the buttons, that works. All right, put all the screws back in everywhere. Again, you can go back to this video if you need to know where the screws go in reverse order. There we go. Everything's secure. You see the controller was white. Got this right here. It was the white controller. Now I made it into a black controller, the shell. I'll put the with the new thumb pad. Now I'll put the finishing touches on. Put this thing back in the center, and we will call this controller complete. And we'll test the LEDs. All right, so there you go. Now I have an all complete black and red LED ps5 controller that match my system. We're gonna put the LEDs in the full LED kit in the system. Now the only thing, like I said, I don't like is right here. You can see the glue. Now again, if you get a colored thumb pad, you can, but you have to have the glue in order for the board to stick on. I mean, you could put more glue, but I mean, it is what it is. The controller still looks freaking phenomenal, but I can see how that could annoy some people. Now, if you want to get some, wipe out this glue off and get some different glue when you do the board. Now again, you know, we had to break this controller all the way down to get to the board. That's how you do it. So now we want to test the LEDs to change the colors of the LEDs to make sure that the controller itself is working. Give me a second. It's gonna be hard for me to do this, but okay. So we'll just I do a bunch of jump cuts. All right, so you see the LEDs on. So now you hold up and forward, like basically diagonal, plus the square button, it will cut it off. You have to do it for 5 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off. You go, it's off, for those of you guys wondering. Yep, so you see you can play with it off if you want. Now, you do the same combination, turn it back on. We're gonna turn it back on and then we're gonna enter color setting mode. Now once it's back on, you simply hold up and square, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna enter it in the color mode where it's gonna start blinking. Once it starts blinking, I can show you guys, I could change to a multitude of colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it into color changing mode. Go, now I can record this, you see it's blinking. Now you wanna change colors, hit left. Oh, it's green. Oh, like that purple, like Donatello. Oh, no, we go back to the blue that you guys have seen. Oh, actually, this is purple right here. It's kind of hard to tell from the camera. This is turquoise. Again, I will turn out the lights for you guys. And there's a fade. You see it's fading into different colors. There's 9 different colors. Yes, there's yellow. There you go. Hit it again. And this, for you guys that have epilepsy, it's a flash. We're going to make that quick. There you go. And then we have, yep, my favorite color, all red. Green. Ninja Turtles. There you go for our green TSP Ninja Turtle controller we're going to make. All the way back to the blue that you guys have seen all night. Blue, default color. Or this is actually yellow right here. There you go. So I'm going to turn off the lights like quick so you guys can see how it looks. The lights off. We'll go to, that's turquoise. Actually, I like turquoise, not bad. We're going to go to fade. Alright, I'm going to set the fade. So once you're done setting the color that you want, you hit up and that to exit the menu, and it'll be that color. So again, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on fade. I'm going to turn off the light so you guys can see how bright it is. You guys go in all its 4K glory. I do have the light on so you can see on the camera. I will turn the light off. I want to show you guys it going through all the colors. Now we're going to do it again. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. All black. Now, I'm going to do it again with the light off. There you go, light off. You guys can see how bright it is. And my TV is on. Alright, I'm going to turn my TV off. Pitch black room, you can see how bright it is compared to the LEDs on the TV. It's not that bright. Actually, pretty nice color. Awesome. Whatever, color changing black PS5 controller. Hell yeah. And there you go. So now I'm not going to bore you guys with the details. We're going to do the same thing. We're making the Ninja Turtle controller. We're going to use the all green right there, and I'm basically going to change your standard controller, stock controller like that, into all green with the LED board. So we did do it correctly. For those of you guys wondering, there you go, all the colors. See how bright it is. Now, again, this video might be pretty long because you make sure you allot some time to put this together. This was actually my first time building the controller from scratch, so it did take a while. So do allot some at least 2 or 3 hours to put together. Now I think going through it again once I go to redo this one will be a lot quicker. But okay. We're going to go ahead and call this a video. Then like I said, in the next video, we'll have this one together and we'll continue on with the PS5. So please click like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment down below. That's how you rebuild a brand new PS5 controller, all black with the LED board. See you guys next video. Peace.